Hello, I am live and I have 4 days left till my memoir launch. And do you want to hear a funny story? Yesterday, I said I had 6 days left because a few days ago, 2 days in a row, I said I had 8 days left. My math is off. So now that I realized that, we are down to 4 days. 4 days, and I'll be at the Harbor Center, uh, Simon Fraser University Harbor Center campus in Vancouver, BC, in the Joseph and Rosalie Seagal Center. That's the room that we will be doing a panel, and I will be doing a book signing. And there will also be a photographer. So if anyone wants to get a picture with me, or even just a picture with whoever you come with, my photographer will be there. As my family calls him, my personal photographer. My dear friend who wonderfully takes pictures at my events and takes pictures for my promotions and everything else. I'm going to be dressed pretty. I bought a skirt and shoes from you won't believe this. I bought them from the thrift store and they're gorgeous. And then yesterday my daughter and I went to the mall and I found a shirt on sale that I think will go very nicely with it. So I'll be all dressed up and I'll have to bring some flat shoes because I'll be wearing heels during the event and my feet will probably get sore. I'm starting to recover from the stress of everything. I was just thinking today about how hard it was to create the audiobook. It was one of the definitely biggest accomplishments, biggest goals that I've ever set out and accomplished. And I did give up early on when I first tried, but then I found actually a course called Audiobooks Made Easy, and I impulsively purchased the course, even though I couldn't really afford it. And it was such a good decision. I'm so glad I did it because now I have an audiobook to share with all of you. And on launch day, if you purchase my print book, my memoir, then you will get a free audiobook as well. So definitely go to my website to check that out. I also, if you're following me on any of my socials, I've posted a couple of trailers for the book where I took some of the content from the audiobook and then I grabbed videos off of a website called pexels.com, Pexels.com. And I heard about it somewhere, I can't remember where, I think it was a TikTok video. So I checked it out and I found some very cool video that I could add in to go with the words of the story from the excerpts that I chose out of my book. So if you're on my socials, you can find those probably pretty easily. They're in video form and they have subtitles and they talk about my first day when I decided to throw caution to the wind and become an exotic dancer. And then about how I felt when I was getting to the strip club and like what that experience was like and how I was really unsure if I could actually do it. So, yeah, it was a very interesting night. And something so hilarious, speaking of the first night that I danced, there's a podcast coming out on Monday, Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard, and they have a preview clip right now on their YouTube page, which is so hilarious. I forgot we talked about this, but it, and it's about what is a mullet pussy, which in my book on my first night dancing, I had one of those, but yeah, so you'll have to check that out. Check out that clip, it's so funny, and what else was I gonna say about that? That was so funny. Oh, they also posted on Instagram about my podcast that's upcoming on their channel, and the music they used was "Girls, Girls, Girls" by, Motley Crue, and I mentioned in my book that a lot of guys would come to the Marble Arch because of that song. So those guys are so awesome. They actually read my book and they said the guys I'm talking about are the guys from the podcast Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard. They actually read my book. So I thought that was very cool. The interview was really interesting. They asked me about a lot of things in the book, so that was really fun. I loved that interview. I also have 2 other interviews out this week. Love Can't Wait podcast and with Sharp Game. He does a relationship type podcast and he asked me questions like, what if someone asked you to quit your work for the relationship? We talked about a lot of interesting things as well. And I also had the podcast from Please Me dropped this week. And she is I think, what is she? A sexual physiotherapist or something like that. So sexual health therapist of some kind. I believe it's physiotherapy. It's been a while since I learned that about her. I've known her for quite a long time now, but when I first met her was when I found out what she did, and now I can't remember if I'm correct. But she's super cool, and we had so many hilarious conversations in that conversation, like topics, I should say. So it's been fun. I've been on so many podcasts lately. And I think I'm gonna take a couple weeks break after this. Just from everything. I might just, crawl under my blankets and sleep for like a whole day. But first I'll have to celebrate because I'm gonna be a bestseller, right? And that's the goal. The goal is to become a bestseller, and how you become a bestseller on Amazon is you try to get as many people as you can to purchase your book on the same day, because Amazon bestseller is based on like the amount of purchases a book gets on a day. So for instance, on my launch day, I could be number 1 in the categories. I could get bestseller status, but that might fall off on another day when someone else, has a book launch and they get a bunch of extra sales. So it's not like it's a bestseller on Amazon. You get to say you've been a bestseller, but it's like you don't have a bestseller thing on there unless your book is being bought really a lot every day. You never know, that might happen. We'll see. I don't know how much of a market there is for sex worker memoirs, but I'm super excited about this. I never thought that so many people would be interested in my story, and the feedback that I've gotten from the people who had advance reviews so far are good. I'm still waiting for a review from Rabble, because Rabble reached out to me. It's a publication online if you don't know who they are. And they asked me for an advance copy of my book so that one of their writers that covers like the sex work scene could review my book. So I'm nervous about that. I've never been reviewed. I hope it's good. But so far, the feedback I've gotten is that at least a few people have told me that they couldn't put the book down, that it was really hard to stop reading it, that time just flew by and it was interesting. And those are the things that every author wants people to say. So makes me feel very, very good. And once this is done and I've recovered, I really want to focus on partnerships and lifting up other people, especially the people who've really lifted me up through this challenging book launch. It's been a bit challenging because I had a long-term relationship end very recently, and I moved, and I'm still recovering from a major surgery from last year. So in those ways, it's been a bit challenging. Also, it's a lot of freaking work. But, it's been just incredible because people have just been so fucking good to me. So good to me. I don't know how I deserve this, but I just am so grateful. And that's why I want to thank everyone who has helped me get this far. Only 4 more days, and I'll be in Vancouver, and I hope to meet you there. And if you can't come to the event, then it will be live streamed on all my channels, just like I'm doing right now. So you'll be able to see the panel discussion and maybe a few other little special tidbits. But if you're there in person, you can get a book signed. I'm going to have a table with books. My daughter's going to be there helping me. My business coach is going to be there. And of course, all the people that I love and care about on the panel and in the audience. I think it's going to be just a really good. I mean, the subject matter is about discrimination, but it's also about bringing awareness to sex work as a human a human issue, a working class crisis, and showing people that we're just like the other workers. We're all just working to make a living and doing the best we can, and some of the ways in which sex workers are discriminated against in Canada should be illegal, and is illegal because we're told that sex work is a legal occupation. So if it's a legal occupation, then how can they have the right to kick you out of your housing? And how can they have the right to deny you a bank account? And how can they have the right to do all kinds of other things that are detrimental to the health, welfare, safety, and financial welfare of sex workers? So that's kind of what it's about, but it's also about networking and friendship and being there for one another and showing community spirit. And it's about my books because I'm gonna be there with them and I'm gonna be signing books. So oh, I'm so blessed, honestly, to have the BC Coalition of Experiential Communities, of which I have been a member for about 20 years. Yeah, I think I joined in 2004. So I've been a member for like 20 years, and a few of those people that have been on the coalition for as long as me. Oh, thank you, Bella Marcella. You are amazing. Yeah. So yeah, a few people that have been on the coalition with me all these years are going to or have been supporting me so much, and they're excited about my book launch, and they're trying to make this panel event, even though it's not just about my book launch, they're trying to make sure that it's going to be really successful in the aspect of supporting my book launch. So I'm so lucky. Thank you, Michael. You're gonna look Oh, you're gonna read it when you get back from your vacation? You will. I have it ready to send to you, so just let me know. A few people donated to me in advance, and they'll be getting signed copies sent to them in the mail. And Michael is one of them, but he's going away on vacation, so I'll have to get that to you later. So nice to have comments while I'm talking to myself. I can see there's people watching. But I think I'm going to wind down now and say goodbye. I have mom stuff to do and a few more things to do, obviously, before the big day. So I love you. I don't know how to end it. I love you.